Welcome back to Low Country Spotlight. I told you all this was like the man edition of Low Country Spotlight, so totally unconsciously, but we've had some great guests today, and we are going to end on a great note. We have with us today Earl Trammell. I'm going to say it wrong.
You're right, it's Trammell.
Earl Trammell, and he is actually in the United States Navy. And this is so interesting. Earl actually appeared on Good Morning America during Fleet Week, and I said, you know what? Bring him on the show. I don't mind interviewing him after he's interacted with Robin Roberts, who's one of my most favorite people in the world. So, and there we have a picture of Earl making his appearance on GMA. Now he's making his inaugural appearance on Low Country Spotlight. So, Earl, welcome to Low Country Spotlight.
Thank you, thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
We're so happy that you could join us. Now, we've been talking kind of off the air about the fact that you're in the Navy. My son is in the Navy. Right. You went through basic training near Chicago. My son did as well. I told you that my son is a bosun mate. You're telling me that it's the hardest job in the world.
It's not necessarily the hardest job in the world. It's more of a like hands-on, every day, all day, you know, kind of job. So like it makes a man or a real woman out of, you know, whoever takes that job up. So yeah, he's got a good job.
Well, and I mean, he takes such pride in what he does on the ship. You know, he's constantly posting videos and pictures of other people on the ship. Talk to us about that pride that comes with not just being in the Navy, but from serving your country and being in the armed forces.
It's a different type of pride that you have. Like some people have a pride about themselves, and being a part of like the armed forces, especially the Navy, like you get to be a part of a community or an organization that goes out and promotes the greater good. Like you're protecting your country, you go out to different places that you know that nobody really gets to travel. You're doing things that nobody really gets to do, but you get to sleep at night knowing that, oh, my family's home, they're safe. And when you come back, like especially off a long deployment, like I've done 7 deployments, you know, coming back to the States and seeing my wife and my son, and the first thing I get is, hey, welcome back. Oh man, we're glad to have you back, and we thank you for your service and everything. And they tell you that, and you don't really realize it until you get back from a deployment. Like, man, like nobody else really could do this job. Like I'm a part of that 1%, and it's the very, very pride feeling like that I get. I love it.
Wow, wow. Now tell us about some of your deployments. You've been all over the place.
Yeah, I've been. I've touched 5 of the 7 continents.
Wow.
And it's been difficult at times.
Okay.
The length of time being away, the different jobs that I've been doing. I went from an expeditionary deployment.
Which is what?
That's boots on ground.
Okay.
That's more of a boots on ground.
Okay.
And,
in the Navy?
Yeah.
I just thought y'all sailed.
Oh no, yeah. There's a lot of different aspects of the Navy. You have submariners. You have your sailors that are on surface warfare. You have your aviation side, you have your expeditionary side, you have it all.
So when you say boots on the ground, what are you doing?
It depends. Like for me, like
now see, I'm worried. Now I don't want my son to have no boots on the ground.
No, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He's a bosun mate. He'll be fine.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
No, but I was with the Coastal Riverine Squadron too, and what we did was we patrolled the outer banks of the shore. So we'll go up there, clear the area, make sure nobody, like no hostiles or anybody were in there, because if we were going in there to set up camp or do an operation, we had to make sure the area was clear.
Okay.
So that brought in every team from the Riverine squadrons to the Riverine groups, EOD, SEALs, you know, everybody that were a part of the operation. It just cleared the area for them to come in and set up camp.
So anytime you hear expeditionary forces, that means boots on the ground.
Yes.
I'm going to remember that. Okay. What else?
I've done some surface deployments.
What's the surface deployment?
That's being on the ship.
Listen, you all didn't know that y'all were going to get your military training today on Low Country Spotlight. Okay, I digress. Go ahead.
Okay, so the surface deployment, that's when you're on the ship. They got different classes of ships, your aircraft carriers, your cruisers, your destroyers, and your submarines and frigates. And so that, it all entails just being on a boat, whether it's 509 feet to, 1,000 yards long.
Wow.
Like it depends. It really depends on what kind of craft you're on. And I've been on small boys the entire time. And
what's a small ship in your opinion?
A destroyer. That's 509 feet long.
Wow.
So
what's the ship that has the airplane?
That's the aircraft carrier.
Duh.
We got it. We're going to work
Imagine
through this.
that. Okay. Now, have you been on any aircraft carriers?
I've only been on there to like tour, but not to like deploy on.
Okay. Now, what made you decide to choose the Navy?
That was a rough patch in my life.
Okay.
Got out of college and I sitting there. I was working at Boeing that's right here in Charleston, and then they did a layoff for like a year and a half, and I was a part of that layoff. I was affected and sitting there waiting on waiting on something to come back up from them, and then one of my buddies, they joined the Navy. My grandfather was in the Navy. My uncle was in the Navy.
Yeah.
So I was like, why not the Navy?
Yeah.
So I went in, walked into the office and said, hey, where do I sign up? And they took me through the whole process and got in and never looked back.
Wow. And so what are your plans for the future? You've been in for a number of years and doing well and all that. And we hear little Mason in the background.
Yeah,
He's like, my daddy is still talking.
Well, yeah, he's actually a part of my plans for the future. So it depends on what works out best for my family.
Okay.
I don't want to commit to a 20-year relationship with the Navy, although I could. I don't want to commit to it if it doesn't help, my family. Like if I'm away from them for so long, because I've been there for 7 years. I've been gone for 6 of the 7 years.
You're kidding me.
I have been.
Wow.
Yeah, it just depends on the job that you do, and being in that community, the special warfare community, you're gone a lot.
Okay, so special warfare. Tell us what all that entails besides the obvious.
Well, I mean, you get the missions that come from like the Pentagon. Like they tell you, hey, we need presence in this area. We need somebody to go in this area. We need people to be here to survey, clear it out, or just to evacuate. Like it goes from non-combatant to combatant. It goes all over.
And I think that's probably what my confusion is, because I'm thinking that you're only going to be deployed or go somewhere or do something when it's like a war type situation. But a lot of this is, I say preventive. I don't know what the word is to describe it.
You can call it preventive maintenance, because it's like what we do, we're there to show a force, but we're not there to engage.
It's like a force, like don't try it.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like you're a mother. So like saying, like if your son goes on a date, when he was younger, he goes on a date, he goes to a movie theater and turn around and sees you in the back, you know that young lady's not gonna try anything with him. So it's like, yeah, so it's just kind of, it's the same thing. We're there and we're showing them, hey, we know what's going on. We know if you want to try something, we're here to stop that.
Wow.
And it's not all bad. It's not all wartime. It's, it's mostly peacetime steaming. So
how does that make you feel, knowing that, you kind of set the stage? And you kind of go ahead and set the tone, like you said at one point, going in, making sure there's no hostiles or anything of that nature. How does that make you feel, being able to be preemptive or, in that preventive type vein?
It used to be fun. Like when I was single, before me and my wife are married, it used to be fun. It's that adrenaline, because every guy that's, I'm not gonna say reckless, but has that, oh, I want to do this.
Hard charging.
Yeah, hard charging. Yeah, one of those guys. You think like, yeah, I want to do this. I'm gonna get it in, and then you get married, you get a soft spot.
Yeah.
Especially when you have children too.
Yeah.
And it changed. Now I'm just like, okay, I kind of got to get out that community, and which I did. So I'm out of that community now. So.
Now, when you say out of that community, from the standpoint of you're taking on a new role.
Yes.
Tell us about your new role.
My new role is I'll be the local Navy representative in neighborhoods in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'm a recruiter.
Yay!
So I'll be
real applause again.
Yeah, so I'll be trying to break that tension that's between the community and the military. A lot of people have some skewed views about the military, so I'm there to kind of bridge the gap and build some community relations, and also help people achieve their dreams of enlisting in the military.
That's great. And guess what? We out of time, man.
Beautiful.
It's over with. It's over with. Oh my God, we've been talking to Earl Trammell, who's with the United States Navy. He's going to be working in a recruiting capacity in Fayetteville. So if you're watching us on YouTube and you're in North Carolina and you have an occasion to want to get some inspiration to join the Navy or join the Armed Forces, please check him out. Okay, it's been great on Low Country Spotlight. This has been the men's edition. We will see you next time. Have a good rest of your weekend.